Hello and welcome back to Newsroom Nigeria. This is where we give you hot, fresh and sizzling news all day long. If this is your first time here, you have not subscribed to this channel, what are you doing? Please go ahead and subscribe. Also leave your opinions in the comment section. Don't forget to give this video a massive thumbs up. It helps our video to be able to get recommended to other YouTube viewers all around the world. And that way we also encourage to put out more reliable and authentic news. Without further ado, let's delve right into the details of today's news. Former governor of Rivers State, Rotimi Amaechi, has recounted taking several risks at the detriment of his life while mobilizing against ex-president Goodluck Jonathan. Newsroom Nigeria reports that the former Minister of Transportation spoke at the ninth edition of the Akinjide Adeosun Foundation AAF Annual Leadership Discourse organized in Lagos State. On his reason for mobilizing to remove Jonathan, Amaechi said he disagreed with his leadership style, even though the ex-president would have been better than former President Muhammadu Buhari. Amaechi listed the dangers he faced under Goodluck Jonathan, noting that the church, civil society organizations, and pressure groups should revolt against oppression. It said, and I quote, "The reason for removing Goodluck, I will say this in my book, is that I didn't agree with his leadership style. You may agree that his leadership might have been better than Buhari, but do not forget that by the time he was leaving office, the dollar had started rising to between 150 naira and 200 naira. I was governor, right? So you say I have immunity and I could do whatever I liked. But other people were also governors, but they were all scared. I brought out my neck to sacrifice it. How many of you knew that I was told not to enter Ekiti State? I was governor and I was stubborn. I was governor at the age of 42, so I was stubborn. I said I must go there. I must go to Ekiti State. We were there with the soldiers, struggling whether I would enter or not until 5 p.m. A good man, soldier, then told me, "Sir, what I am doing to you now is not law. It is wrong, but in our profession, we must obey the last order. What I am about to do to you now is part of my mandate, but I will do it. Sir, start now and leave here. Do not let darkness catch you anywhere, because I cannot account for your life. Wherever you are going, don't let darkness meet you." At that point, I was carrying, I think, Dr. Ogunbi, who obviously panicked. So we drove to the airport. We went to Akure Airport where I boarded a plane. Then the airport manager walked in and said, "Sorry, sir, the airport is technically closed." Then I asked, "What do you mean by the airport is technically closed?" An airport is technically closed when a non-civil authority closes the airport. So we went to the tarmac where I saw one Air Force vehicle with a machine gun on top blocking the runway. What came to my mind at that time was, do not be found in any dark place. This was as a governor. So I walked into my car, reversed, and sped straight to Lagos. When we went to install the Emir of Kano, when we had succeeded, but it had not been announced, we told the governor of Kano State that we were leaving. He said, "Okay." So we went to the airport. I boarded my plane. I had chartered the plane, an Indian pilot, by the way. We took off. We were going to Abuja, but the weather was bad, and I am always afraid of weather. So we came back. Instead of landing in Kaduna, I said we shouldn't land in Kaduna because the governor of Kaduna was a member of a PDP and he was hostile. So I said, let's go back to Kano. We got to Kano where they didn't let us land for 20 minutes. However, we eventually landed. When the weather improved, they called us to inform us that the weather had improved. We boarded the plane and were about to leave Kano when they told us we could not leave Kano. I asked why. They said it was an order from above. So I called the former governor of Kano State, Kwakwaso, and informed him that there was an order from above that I shouldn't leave Kano. He said, and I quote, "Come to the government house." And luckily for us, aero contractors landed. When aero contractors landed, we said, thank God, I told my staff, go and buy aero contractors tickets wherever they were going. Let us go. Having gone to purchase aero contractors tickets, they returned to me to say, "Sir, they said we cannot buy aero contractors tickets." I asked why. I thought they said only commercial aircraft could go. Private jets couldn't go. However, they said, no, you can't go. So I said, then we'll go to government house. As I was talking, the director of SSS walked in and saluted me. He was the director of SSS in Rivers State before he was transferred to Kano. He said, Oga must leave Kano now, even if it means sleeping in Bichi. At the time, I didn't know where Bichi was. I said, why? He said, I can't account for your life. I told him, but the governor has told me to come to the government house. He said, don't you go near there. So I requested for security, which he gave me. We bought fuel, and he said, switch off your phones. We switched off our phones. By the time I left Kano, the people with me, Goje, who was about to cry, had slept off. Baraje and Professor Gambari had slept, and I was the only person who drove. By the time I got to Zaria, I needed to ease myself. I came down, eased myself. From Kaduna, God drove us because I was sleeping. In fact, I came down in Kaduna where I bought 6 cans of Red Bull. It didn't work. So God drove us from Kaduna to Abuja. Let's have your thoughts and opinions in the comment section. What do you all think of this? Before we go, guys, let's take a look at some of the reactions we got online. Innocent says, payback time. You are reaping what you sowed. Prosper Macaulay says, you get luck, say you no cut off your head. Goat. Where you did today? Floating. Okereke Uche says, posterity will not forgive you. If you like, write an encyclopedia. You remain part of a present Nigerian problem because of selfish greed. Nosa says, what did Rivers State gain from the 8 years that you spent as Minister of Transportation? Instead, you gave University of Transport to Douara and equally completed the railways line to the ancestral home of Buhari to Niger, but couldn't complete the rail from your state to Maiduguri, which is in Nigeria, despite the fact that the resources was gotten from your state. Don't you see how foolish you are? In abundance of water, the fool is thirsty. You have now become a talkative. You have not seen anything. Amlet Soludo says, you were overambitious and that is why they used the weakness in you to lure you, just like Judas was used to get his master, because now who know man, and they closer, enemies they always use, get the man. Although Baba tried to make you become president, but the other Baba from the West was fully prepared, both financially and spiritually. So now waiting you sow by betraying your Oga and brother, now in you they reap so. Samuel Timileyin says, you cannot come out now. Another comment from Tega says, a well-known Igbo prince invited you to his house and begged him to stop the war. After all, both of them were brothers from Niger Delta, and he predicted in the presence of Senator Obi that if Amaechi was used to remove Jonathan, that Niger Delta will be the loser and power may never go back to them. The same man has spoken to Wike to stop his war because he may acquire more wealth, but they will discard him when they have achieved their goals. But he told him that he will remain the kingmaker. Another comment from Emmanuel says, you're a very big fool for even to say that you worked against Jonathan. You are one of the problems Nigeria have. You cannot reach the heights of Jonathan in your whole life. Selfish politician. And lastly, a comment from Etuk Henry says, you foolishly say you are disagreed with Goodluck leadership style. What were your achievements as a governor? You set fire in the farm. You used government money to create. Now you and Jonathan, who is better? You always have your total opinions in the comment section. Thank you very much for always listening and watching, guys. I'll see you all in my next video. Bye for now.